Hey everyone, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and I've got your newest QB rankings for this upcoming season. So now that preseason's over, I wanted to update my list compared to what I did early on before the preseason and really mini camps are happening. So this is my updated top 12 quarterbacks going into this fantasy season. Some may have changed, some may be in the same spots, but again, it's kind of eye-opening to kind of see some differences, what talent is there, obviously injuries that might affect a quarterback, things like that. So I wanted to kind of get into that. So if you are new to the channel and you do like what you're seeing here, please hit that subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell because we're going to be dropping our start-sit videos soon because our weeks start next week. It's super exciting. If you do also have questions for us, hit us in the comments down below. Maybe you don't disagree with some of these guys. Maybe you want to move some up, move some down. Or if you have questions about your own team, maybe some possible trades have been sent to you. Or if you haven't drafted yet, make sure you pay attention to our mock draft videos. Also hit us on our socials. We're on Twitter, Instagram. You can hit some of the DMs as well as there. A lot of people are starting to ask questions because the season is almost here and they want to be prepared. We want to start you guys off with a W next week. That way you guys can get into that championship. So we're going to jump right into the, I would say again, top 12, at least my rankings going into the season. Some are very similar to some other analysts that are out there, but I've made some changes based off of what I feel is going to be a strong season for some of these quarterbacks. So simple. Number one is Patrick Mahomes. Even though he did not finish number one last year in fantasy, I think part of that had to do with like inconsistency at running back, obviously some weapons. Look, Patrick Mahomes is going to be the number one quarterback, and I'm seeing him falling into the end of the first round, early second round of most drafts. He's number one. He's got the 9th best strength of schedule this upcoming season. So that is a big deal. Whether you care about or rankings of strength of schedule, because it's a little early, obviously based off last year, but he's got the 9th best going into it, and he's Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he has two very all-star, I would say receiver tight end. He is missing that second one. I think this is going to be where Hardman really shows up and shines this year, so make sure you go after Patrick Mahomes. The second quarterback I have going to this, upcoming season is Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray was number 2 last year, and I still think he's going to be number 2 this year. And I know a lot of people were concerned going into this preseason, and some of the preseason games, that offense struggled. Don't overthink it too much. Look, a lot of these really complicated offenses don't show too much in the preseason. It's very vanilla, not overcomplicated. They just kind of want to make it simple, especially for the rookies or guys who are on the fringe of making the team, while also still trying to better the team. So I like Kyler Murray. He does have the 21st worst schedule, unfortunately, and fumbles are a concern of his. He fumbled 9 times last year, but he had double-digit rushing touchdowns, so that matters. His rushing ability is what helped offset some of his turnovers last year, and if he can fix a few of those, that's going to only help him out. Third quarterback I have is going to be Josh Allen. No surprise there. If you guys look at it last year, he was one of the best quarterbacks, and he ended up finishing first last year. Right now, he does have one of the toughest schedules as far as strength of schedule. He's the 27th worst strength of schedule as far as hardest. But he's adding some weapons like Emmanuel Sanders. He did have 25 rushing touchdowns in the last 3 years as far as Josh Allen goes, and he's continued to succeed. And just so you know, 25 rushing touchdowns in the past 3 seasons by Josh Allen. Christian McCaffrey had 27. And I know he was down last year, but 27. Think about that. Who is one of the best running backs in the league. So Josh Allen does not get enough consideration for his rushing ability. He is an absolute steal. If you're not drafting him or going after him, you're going to miss out big time. Next guy I have, and I moved him up. I had him down some, but I moved him up to number 4. Lamar Jackson absolutely gets shredded because of his passing. And I'm going to talk about his passing. Yes, he digressed in passing touchdowns, but he was smarter with the ball. He's still a huge threat at running. He goes over 1,000 rushing yards, which is a big deal in fantasy football. He does have the 29th hardest schedule going into the season. Not the worst. I'll tell you who's the worst. But 29th hardest schedule. So Lamar Jackson does have a tough schedule. AFC North is a really tough schedule in general. You're playing against the Browns, who are very solid, the Steelers. But I like the weapons. Obviously, his rookie receiver coming in is injured. That does affect him a little bit, but I still like the ability of running. Him and Gus Edwards are going to be amazing. Number 5, not because I'm a homer, but I have Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, based off last year, prior to his injury, was probably going to end up being the number 1 fantasy quarterback. He was off the charts. And I understand a lot of it had to do with some, I guess games getting away, so they're playing a lot of catch-up. And you know what? As a football fan, that sucks. And those stats are a little jaded. But as a fantasy football owner, Dak Prescott, that's what matters. You need those yards. You need those touchdowns. That's what matters. He did have some fumbling issues, which was a concern last year. Hopefully he fixes those things. There is some hesitation with him as far as his running ability. Some people are nervous about is he going to put a lot of, strength on his leg? Is he going to trust his legs? I still think he's going to run. He looks good in preseason. If you watch any of the Hard Knocks, he looks really good as far as the little bit of practice he's been able to do. He is super motivated. Dak Prescott's going against he has the 19th easiest schedule into the season. We're playing the NFC East. I get it, so he's got a little bit easier. But he was on pace for over 5,000 passing yards. I like Dak Prescott, number 5. Number 6, I've got Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has the hardest strength of schedule going into this season. Last year, he was number 1 quarterback in the first 8 games. The last 8 games, he struggled, and you saw it. The inconsistency of DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, there was a lot of struggle. The running game pretty much non-existent with Chris Carson going in and out of the lineup. That played a big factor. I think if a healthy Chris Carson stays, they like Rashad Penny. So if both of those running backs are healthy and can produce, Russell Wilson will absolutely be a top 10 quarterback, and don't be afraid of drafting him. He is absolutely number 6 for me. Number 7, I have Justin Herbert. Look, the rookie was amazing last year. He had the most touchdowns ever by a rookie. He had the second most yards by a rookie. He does have the 22nd hardest schedule going into the season, and that's understandable being in the AFC West. But I like his weapons. It's only going to continue to get better. He gets a better tight end, in my opinion, in Jared Cook. I think he's a little bit better and more consistent than Hunter Henry. His running backs, you got Eckler back this season. That's going to only help the passing game and, of course, the running game, which will help free up Justin Herbert. I like Justin Herbert a lot this year. He's my number 7 quarterback. Number 8, I've got Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has the 31st hardest schedule going into the season. But that means nothing to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a vet. He's a pro. He's an all-pro. He's a star. He will absolutely demolish that. Last year, he did amazing things. He was the MVP of the league, obviously. He won a lot of people a lot of leagues. And he had the most touchdowns last year in his career. I don't know if he's going to repeat that, but I think he'll easily be in the 30 to 38 range in touchdowns, which will only produce you as a top 10 quarterback easily, if not even better. So I like Aaron Rodgers at number 8. Number 9, I have Matthew Stafford. And nobody's really ranking him that high. Matthew Stafford's a great fantasy quarterback. He's a good quarterback in general. A lot of people are looking due to the Detroit Lions. He's now going to a Sean McVay offense where Jared Goff looked good. No offense to Jared Goff, but let's just be honest. Matthew Stafford's got 2 great weapons on the outside. Okay, he's got Woods and Kupp that are absolutely going to be some studs. Both are going to over 1,000 yards receiving, of course. They've got the 7th easiest schedule going into the season. And look, new weapons. I'm just saying, this is going to help him out. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. If you did not draft him or maybe aren't sure if maybe he's available, make sure you go after Matthew Stafford. Put him on your team. Make sure he's there for your lineup. He's going to have a great season this upcoming season. Number 10, I've got Tom Brady. A lot of people are going to kind of give me crap for it, and I think I deserve it. But I have Tom Brady here based off of some of these other guys' potential in fantasy. Tom Brady's never been a stud at fantasy at all times. He has some inconsistencies. I think he's going to be better this year. He finished, I think, 8th last year in fantasy. I do think he's going to be better, but I think some of these other quarterbacks are going to only improve. He does have the 23rd hardest schedule going into it. It happens when every time you win a Super Bowl, you get one of the toughest schedules. But he had this is one of his highest passing TDs in the last 8 years. Obviously, not as great when he had Randy Moss and Wes Welker, but this is one of his best passing touchdown seasons last year that he's had in a long time. 8 years. Are you kidding me? Most quarterbacks can play 8 years. That's double it. So I do like Tom Brady a lot. Like I said, their schedule's going to be a little bit tough. Everyone's going to be gunning after them. That's why I kind of put him a little behind. Everyone's going to give their A game going against the Buccaneers this year. No one likes to see a repeat. So number 11, I've got Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is going to go have the best year of his career. Part of that has to do with the addition of Julio Jones. Julio Jones is going to be a significant key to this offense, which is going to help free himself and A.J. Brown with 2 great offensive weapons, plus a Derrick Henry behind Ryan Tannehill. That offense is going to be easily top 5 into this season. Obviously, it comes down to injuries on the offensive line. But I like Ryan Tannehill a lot. He did one of the better seasons last year. Look, he does have the 26th hardest schedule. Does make it a little bit tougher. He had 40 touchdowns last year in passing, and he had 7 rushing. A total of 47 touchdowns last year. Ryan Tannehill definitely deserves a lot more credit than he's been giving. I like him a lot. Make sure you go after him as well if he's available. And my last guy as far as the top 12 is going to be Baker Mayfield. He is not shown in any other rankings that I've seen when I've looked at other websites, other analysts, and I think that's just unfair. Look, I understand some people don't like the way Baker Mayfield is. but I like his attitude. They are going against one of the hardest schedules in this season. It's 28th hardest. Again, AFC North is going to be really tough for them. But he does get Odell Beckham back, and a lot of people are giving this idea of Odell being a bad thing for this team. That's only going to help. You're adding a weapon who can, if he can stay healthy, add explosion and fear to a secondary. I like that Odell's going to be there. I like that they're underrating this. Right now, he was scheduled the last 8 games. Baker was QB 11 in fantasy last year. The last 8 games. He was only trending better. I think that was just him starting to click. More consistent offense, more consistent coaching. They feel and really good about him, and I like Baker Mayfield a lot. If he's available, which he is available, most waivers that I've seen who have completed their drafts, Baker Mayfield is an absolute bench/starter, depending on who your initial starter is. So I like Baker Mayfield. Again, let me know in the comments down below. Do you agree with this list? Maybe there's certain players you would take off or put on. Maybe you move some up and down. Let me know in the comments. Again, this is my belief in what's going to happen in this upcoming season. So again, this is not, a prediction. I think these guys are going to be absolute studs. You can't go wrong with any one of these guys. And I did 12, of course, because most people are either 10 or 12-man leagues. So I wanted to get you guys some good starters. If you do have any questions, again, hit us down below in the comments. If you've already done your draft, feel free to share your team down below. Also, hit us in our DMs, Twitter, Instagram. We can always answer any of your questions. If you did like the video, make sure you hit that like button. Also, hit that subscribe button while you're here. If you have not subscribed, hit the notification bell. Again, we're going to be posting videos like this and more coming up with this season. And I'll catch you guys next time.